You ready, Amir?
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We live. So we got here today. We have Nathan Davis. What's your middle name?
Wilbur.
Wilbert.
Wilbur.
I did not think you were a Wilbert.
I didn't either. But I've gone through life with it.
All right. So we have Nathan Wilbert Davis. Now I see why Uncle Trip gave Maceo the middle name Maceo.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, makes
Okay.
sense. All right. So yeah, Pop. This is my grandfather. This is somebody I love very dearly. He's very special to me. So we're just gonna take some time. I wrote down about 10 questions, and I'm just gonna ask him about his life and his experiences because he has a lot to share with us. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of different questions, but I'm trying to stay in a chronological order. All right?
Okay.
So, what is your very first memory you have as a child?
My very first memory as a child would probably be working out front. When I say working, I'm 4 or 5 years old. Out there with my mother, pulling up weeds in the flower garden.
That's a good memory.
Yeah.
I used to pick weeds all the time. I hated it.
Well, I don't say I loved it, but I'll tell you something. I used to help her raise flowers then, and 84 years later, I'm still raising flowers.
Yes, you are.
So, it stuck. And then in Ocean City at that time, you could raise chickens. And we had a chicken coop. And we would raise chickens in that chicken coop and get the eggs. And then every now and then, the guy that ran the truck, the Husker, I can't remember what they call it, but what they would do, they would bring their vegetables and etc. into town, and one of them would kill the chicken for you. And when I say kill a chicken, he would grab the chicken, grab it by its head, and turn it like this until the neck snapped off of the chicken. And you would take that chicken on in the house, take all the feathers off of it, meal. You know, but that was then, and then it was A-okay. The guy next door to me, which we used to call Uncle Billy, and Uncle Billy used to run a, I don't know what you would call it, but he'd have people selling liquor and he had people coming in and out. But he was a nice guy. And he would come over and help you. He would kill a chicken for you. And he also raised pigs.
Yeah.
And I would watch him out there cleaning the pigs' entrails to make, what's that stuff that we eat?
Chitlins?
Chitlins. He would take a broom and go through his intestines to get to whatever was out. And then he would cook chitlins.
That's crazy that people had like livestock in Ocean City.
They had livestock, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, one other thing I remember, the guy that sold the liquor from Summers Point, that liquor store, same liquor store as in Summers Point now, they would come in Ocean City and sell the liquor, but they had to drive down the alleys.
Yeah.
I never saw them drive down the street. When they were delivering, they would deliver through the back door.
That's crazy because Ocean City's a dry town.
Yeah.
So, you were born and raised in Ocean City?
Born and raised in Ocean City.
Wow. And your mother?
Well, she spent most of her life there. She wasn't born here.
Where did your parents come from?
Well, my dad came from Plainfield.
Plainfield?
New Jersey.
Okay.
And Mom came from up like around, her mother came from like Swedesboro,
New Jersey?
New Jersey.
Okay.
From that area.
So as far as back as you can trace your family, they all come from New Jersey?
Well, my grandfather from Virginia. But my on my father's side, but on my mom's side, they all came from New Jersey.
Ah, that's interesting because Madeire's family, they all came from Virginia or that area, North
Yeah,
Carolina, down
North
south.
Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what was like? What was Nathan Davis like as a young kid? How would your childhood friends describe you? Might even be a better way to phrase it.
Well, kind of quiet kid, kind of athletic, got along with people. Didn't have a hassle with a lot of guys or girls, but then the girls then in early life didn't mean anything to you, so. But got along with everybody, had fun, and riding bikes, running up and down West Avenue. Well, West Avenue was the dirt road then too. And Ocean City is built up now. But Ocean City wasn't built up then. There was a lot of empty space.
Was it really?
Yeah, a lot of empty space. And you go half a block with no houses. And you could play out there in the, well, I don't want to say woods, but the weeds and stuff, yeah. I mean, right across the street from me, there were 3 or 4 trees. I used to love to climb. Until I came out of one the way I didn't want to go up. But
Fireman had to come get you, huh?
They had to go get me.
That's cool. So, like, what are about some family members that, like, you know, that you were fond of when you were around my age or younger that I never got to know? Like, who are some people that you might want me or my family to know about?
Well, keep in mind that I had 2 brothers and 1 sister. I didn't spend much time with my sister.
You talking about Noel?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, that was because, boy, girl. But I spent a lot of time with Lou, because Lou was 1 year junior to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the baby brother. He was like 4 years beneath me.
The barber.
Yeah, the barber. And we could entertain ourselves, the 3 of us together. Then, of course, the older you get, then you start reaching out. I mean, I go for one girl, he goes for another girl, or there's a guy over there you like, and you kind of get different groups. But you still, that brotherhood doesn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Brotherhood doesn't leave. You're always a brother. If the brother's in trouble, you're in trouble. Like what? I went away to law school. Carl, my baby brother, he said, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to go down there and get a job. And you keep on going to school. And of course, I would work at the school. And with the 2 of us mixed together, we could rent an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And Carl worked as a some kind of server in the restaurant. He had a big time restaurant. He was waiter. And between that and my work job, we did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were the firstborn.
Yeah. I was firstborn.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh. Well, Noah was older than I was now.
Oh, so you were the first boy.
Well, first boy.
Okay.
Now Noah was about 3 years older.
Okay.
And then as Noel got older, Noel didn't want us around her because she wanted these boys,
Yeah, she didn't want you all. Yeah, I got
It
you.
messed up the deal. But it was good.
Yeah. So what would you describe like Ocean City like back in your time, right? Because what I see Ocean City now is like you said, it's all built up. There's the boardwalk. And
Nothing like that. Ocean City at that time was nowhere near the population you have now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I became like a teenager and started working and all, Ocean City was like a college town. It was a college town. A lot of college kids came to Ocean City in order to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you got in the habit of wishing for summer, because in would come an influx of new girls, an influx of new guys. It was just it was a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
And also for a lot of the black men and women, or older teenagers, they lived in houses that were rented by whoever they were working for.
Mm-hmm.
They had a house, and this is where these guys would stay, and it was nice. You got to meet a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to meet a lot of athletes. I'm talking about pros in college, athletes. A lot of people used to come. A lot of those athletes used to come to Ocean City.
Wow.
Yeah, and you could play.
Did you ever play against any?
Yeah, I played Guy Rogers. Guy Rogers, man. Guy Rogers. I think Guy's dead now. Guy Rogers. He played with the Philadelphia
Sixers.
Sixers.
Yeah.
And Guy Rogers could play ball.
He could play?
Went from Temple, Six. He could play ball. But I played with him or against him.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I thought I was cool, but the guy was running all over the court, man.
Hey, at least you was on the court, right?
I was on the
A
court.
lot of people was watching,
Yeah.
saying they wishing they was on the court.
Well, though, back then, we they had games maybe 4 out of the 7 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Down to 6 in the ocean where the football field is. And they would have the lights up, the city would, and they would have the bleachers and all. Man, they were crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these guys had names that came down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, what made you want to continue your life in New Jersey and not go elsewhere?
Well, I lived in New Jersey. I went to high school in New Jersey. I went to college in New Jersey. And then, by that time, I knew a lot about New Jersey. And then I went down to D.C., Washington, to go to law school. And what made me come back to Ocean City, because I was getting myself together to stay in D.C., back then you were being drafted. So I had gotten my notice. So I said, well, I got to pack up my stuff and get back to Ocean City. 'Cause, hey, I'm getting ready to go into service.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl was with me. I said, Carl, we're going to have to leave, man, and go on back to Ocean City. And got all our stuff together and etc. We went back to Ocean City. I went back to my dad's house, which is home to me, and I'm getting myself ready to go to wherever the war is, But what happened, I can't think of the name of the case, but there were 3 brothers in the Navy, and they were on one of the naval ships. And all 3 of them got killed on that naval ship. Then they put in the law that you don't send 2 brothers at the same time. You do them one at a time. And when Mrs. Can't think of the lady's name, but she approached my mom and said, Louise, I'm not going to send both of your boys together. I mean, Carl was a little young to go. She said, well, I'm not going to send Lou and Nate together. Now, Nate wants to get out of school, and Lou, we're going to send Lou. So Lou went, and I stayed home. Now, by the time Lou got out, I had gotten married and had a baby on the way. And they were saying, if you have a kid,
You
don't have
good.
to go. I said, I'm in good shape. So anyway, that's what that deal went.
Hey, that's a blessing though, right?
Yeah, so I was back in Jersey, so
So that baby you had on the way at the time was my mother.
that was your mother.
Wow.
Your mother saved my life, man.
Hey, well listen, shout out to my mom, for real. Shout out to the draft for bringing him back to New Jersey where I was able to be created, right?
Right.
So what was the driving force that motivated you to go to college and to not, just be a regular person?
Well, I wanted to be. Well, number 1, I like school. Number 2, I'm looking in the future. How you gonna make money, man? You got to be equipped to do something. So the only way you're going to be equipped, you have to go to school, you have to become a carpenter, whatever. So I moved forward. And then my dad, keep in mind, back then, fathers had a whole lot of, they dictated a lot of things that you did, even though you don't want to do them. And he said, man, you're going to have to go to school. And you should be this and you should be that, but you're going to have to go to school. So I said, all right, Dad, I'll go to school. And then I went to school. We kind of like that college life. Stayed there for 4 years. And then like I said, you're creating yourself for a better job for those 4 years. And then at the end, getting near the end, I decided, man, I want to be a lawyer. Dad said, you're going to be one or two things. You're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a pastor. I said, what? I said, well, his closest friend was a minister, Reverend Jones. Reverend Jones had one of the biggest churches in New Jersey, up there in Newark. So I said, Dad, well, I met Reverend Jones several times. But I said, well, I think I'll go on to law school. So that's the way it went.
So what was your relationship like with your father?
Good. I didn't. He was a tough father, but he kept you on the right path. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say he wasn't physical and all that, but he kept you on the right path. How to make money, how to save money.
I do remember him.
Yeah.
But I have very faint memories of him.
Right. Okay.
And what did he do? What would he do for fun? What was he interested in? What was his livelihood?
Well, he was a carpenter for the city, and then he used to do a lot of swimming.
He was a swimmer.
Yeah, he was a swimmer.
Maybe that's where I got it from.
Yeah, he was a swimmer. Yeah, and he was just a regular guy, but don't bother his kids.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna give you one example. I'm in about the 6th grade or something like that, maybe around 6th or 5th, somewhere around there. And on Asbury Avenue, do you know where the fire station is on Asbury, 6th and Asbury? Well, next to that used to be Holroyd's sub shop. And a lot of kids went in the Holroyd's sub shop, hang around. So I rode up there one day on my bike, and all these bikes were all over the sidewalk, And so I left mine there, and this fireman, he came and took my bike. And when I went to get my bike, he had my bike in the station. All these white kids' bikes still sitting out there on the sidewalk. He didn't give it to me, so I went home and I told Dad, I said, Dad, this is the situation. Come on, boy, let's go. We went directly to the firehouse. And Dad went in there, man, he was hot. And he was about to grab the fireman. I can't remember his name. But other firemen Dad knew, because they all worked on the city. Come on, they take it easy, here, take the bike. So we did anyway. To cut a story short, I never forgot that fireman. And at that time, I was like I said, 6th, 7th grade maybe. I knew who he was. But I said, I can't beat him. But I'm going to grow. And I grew. And I grew. And when I got to be a senior, I stopped him in his tracks. He knew who I was, because I had been looking him in the eye for years.
Yeah, the city's only so big, right?
Yeah, and grab him, yeah. He didn't, back down and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
People never forget how you treat them.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No.
Wasn't important to him.
No. But
Yeah.
it was important to me, and it remained important to me until I could take care of it.
Yeah, listen, I got a fighter spirit too. You know that.
Yeah, right. Well, fighting family, brother.
Exactly. So, as a man, right? As a young man,
Yeah.
what did you desire most? What was the most important thing to you?
Most important thing to me was to make your parents proud of what you're doing. Don't get in trouble to disgrace them. Do something that makes them proud of what you're doing. And then the next thing to me was to find the right mate when it's time to get married. Okay? Also be successful in whatever you're doing.
I think you couldn't have said it better, Pop Pop.
Right, okay.
It sounded like you wrote that one out, man. So, well, President Trump, like he ran with the slogan that said "Make America Great Again."
Yes.
Was America better in the past for you, or do you? How does that statement make you feel as a person who's experienced more life than, President Trump?
Well, at that point, make America great again. In my mind, he wasn't going to make America great again. Because I thought in many aspects America was great. Now there's plenty of things that can be done to make a better America. But in terms of what I saw in the world, America had done a lot of great things. Now, America hurt us black folks a lot. But when it comes to medical things, teaching you this or teaching you that, America was very good in it. Very good. So when he said make them great again, I never thought much of Trump because I watched Trump when Trump first got his name. Now he didn't get his name, he got his name from his father. And then when his father died, he picked up whatever his father owned. And he was a great supporter of trying to think of the heavyweight champion in the world.
Mike Tyson.
Tyson couldn't go to Atlantic City without him following Tyson. Tyson and Michael Jackson were two of his favorite people. Not because they were black, but because of the notoriety that they carried with them. Anywhere that Michael would be, or Tyson would be, a crowd would be. And he wanted to be with the crowd, But I never thought much of Trump at all because he screwed these people in Atlantic City when he built these hotels or whatever he built. He didn't pay him, and he talk to people in Atlantic City, and they'll tell you what he's a dog.
And that's what blows my mind, how he gets so much support in this area. But I wasn't making this interview about Trump. I just wanted to know if you thought America was great at a point in time.
Well, I don't know if I want to say great. It had its bad parts, but it had a lot of its good parts,
What were some of your favorite parts?
Well, to me, they gave me the ability to be anything I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, people went along that graduated with me.
Mm-hmm.
They could be anything they wanted to be. I saw a lot of us guys whose parents never got to college or fellow, that the kids did. So the kid is stronger intellectually than the father because he has the advantage he's able to go to school. And at that time they were integrating all the schools. Now, believe me, I'm not saying it's great, but it was better.
Mm-hmm.
Even the houses, I remember the houses where black people couldn't live, they started being able to buy. Where I'm living now, black folks was not there.
Really?
Were not there back then.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. When I bought this property and moved, down there on the corner, they put a KKK. White guy down the street a little ways, I can't think of his name, but he became mayor at one point. He said, nah, this is not going to happen. He took the people that put the KKK down there, and made them take it off. Now, one of them got wise, and I hear a shotgun going off. Well, I went and grabbed mine, and it went off. No more shotguns went off. You know, but you just had to. You had to be sensible, and you go on the street now. There's another couple of families down the block away. So I can't say. So I'm saying it's getting better. It might not be where you want it to be, and it's not where I want it to be, but it's better.
How did you feel? You know, being you were the first. I want you to say this, right? You were the first black lawyer in Cape May County, or
yeah, practice in Cape May County.
So, how did you feel? Two parts of this. So, number one, how did you feel achieving, something that's never been achieved before? Number one, and then number two, did you feel obligated? Because you have that responsibility, or how did you feel with that responsibility?
It was a responsibility. It was a responsibility because I wanted to be successful and do the things you're supposed to do. Okay? Now,
are you going to have time to look at that 2 months?
You can't do all that alone. You have to have good partners somewhere, black, white, whatever. Now, when I started down there, when I started in Cape May County, I started in Charles Sandman's office. And at that time, he was a state senator. Okay. So, the mere fact that you were in his office gave you some celebrity because you're in the senator's office. And people want A, B, C, and D from the senator. And a lot of times he would send them to me, And people look at you a little different. Now, I don't know if they categorize all of us the same, but they look at you a little different because you could do something for them, And to that extent, I like that. Then you become friendly with a lot of them. Now, when you become, a guy's friendly with you, you and him want the same money. So I went through that and got to meet a lot of people and got a chance to help a lot of people. And then when he got the congressman down in congressman, I was working. He gave me a job. I don't know, being whatever on his behalf, or representing him in different places, and you could help a lot of people. Now I'll give him this credit. If I would say, Charlie, my nephew needs the job here and blah, 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 blah. Next thing is you're going to have it. So all he wanted you to do is what you were supposed to do. And some of the guys working for him, they gave me a shot in the arm, and, I did the same for them. So it was okay. Okay, I was glad I did it. But then I got to the point I said, I got to grow. So I left. But I didn't just leave, you know what I mean? I said, why I'm going, and this and that. And I got out there on my own, and I did better. Well, you're going to do better if you want to do it. So it was okay. But Sandman was good to me, and through him, and through his people, I got a lot of black guys' jobs. A lot of them that were the first in that position. Yeah.
So, what were some challenges that you faced being the first? Did people just instantly? Oh, well, I'm sure they did. But what are some of the challenges you had to overcome because of the way you look?
Well,
in regards to your career,
first thing you're gonna do, they're gonna look at you. Does this man know what he's doing? Okay. Could he help me? Well, what you're supposed to do, and you prepare yourself. This is what a lot of people don't do in life, man. If you have a case, prepare that case. Know that case inside and outside. Okay? Now, if you do that, and then if you're trying that case and you go before that jury, and you can talk to that jury, and that jury believes in you, and that's what they have to do. You have to get them to believe in you. You can do a lot. And a lot of these people that are supposed to be good are not really good. They don't stand on their feet and try a case. They can go in the office and they can facilitate some kind of agreement or whatever. But it's a little different when you stand before that jury and try that case. And then you have to know, but since you have to also be prepared, man, you also have to be prepared for this segregation, because it's everywhere. And you can find it in the judge. Now, I had one case, I'll never forget it. Never forget it. I had an undertaker, black undertaker in Atlantic City. And he was a good old guy. And what he did, this lady, husband worked for the city, and he passed away. And she got his death benefits, money. And she drank a little too much alcohol. But she gave it to the undertaker just to hold this, so I won't spend all this money at one time. Okay. And what he did, he spent the woman's money. Now, at the same time, there were pharmacists in Atlantic City, Jewish pharmacists. He put a scheme in the pharmacy. Now, they did this to hundreds of people. You know. My man only did it to one. Never had a record, nothing. They sent the guy away to jail. State prison the first time, never saw that. So what I did, I went to court, and I told the judge, not the judge that did it, but another judge, because we had a hearing, what the other judge had said, Greenberg, and I told him what had happened. And he says, well, Mr. Davis, you trying to tell me that Judge Greenberg is prejudiced? I said, no, I'm not trying to tell you he's prejudiced. I'm not telling you that. The facts are telling you what he is. So he looked at me funny, but nothing he could say, because I'm right. Now, the funny thing is, next time I saw Greenberg, we just meet Greenberg in the office, talking about a case and what the guy should get or whatever, man. He looked at me and said, and this guy had a record, man, as long as your arm. He says, now, Nate, he said, I think we can get this guy probation, can't we? Well, you know that too, whatever. I said, I don't know, Judge, but I think we can. But see, you got to watch out for all that stuff, man. Watch out. But another thing, though, knowing people is also a good thing at all. Because a lot of these guys that got hurt or whatever in the service, they didn't get enough money or whatever it was. And so I had one, and they told me, well, you might as well not go up there because they're not going to give you anything. I told the guy, come on, man, we going. And so when I get up to Fort Dix, I walk in there, and the soldier that was in charge of giving out this money, he walked out and he looked at me. He says, I know you, don't I? I says, yeah, man, we went to Rutgers together. He said, man, let me shake your hand. He said, wait a minute, give me 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. So, you know, a lot of it's who you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's a spicy question for you, Pop Pop. How do you feel that your hairline is still there and still defined? And how old are you?
84.
According to genetics, you're supposed to get your mother's father's hairline.
Yeah,
So thank you.
right.
How do you feel about your hairline?
I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it.
Standing strong.
Standing strong.
I know a lot of people that.
I'm standing strong.
Right?
Yeah.
What was when you look back on life, right?
Yeah.
What brought you the most joy?
What, when I was where?
Just throughout your whole life, right? You just take a look.
I'm gonna tell you, man. First thing that brings me joy is the family
Mm-hmm.
and a good wife,
Mm-hmm.
good kids, good grandkids, family, and then you move out, you know, into a different circle.
Starts with the core.
That's where you look first. I mean, like that little guy you got, Ocean. Boy, man, I'm looking at Ocean. Ocean can do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned. I know you come down on it, but me, I give him a big smile, you know. But that's where it comes from.
Okay, so this is the grand finale, y'all. This is the big question I want to ask you. All right, Pop Pop?
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, Ocean's gonna grow just like as you grew, right? And you know, Ocean's gonna start a family of his own, right? And you, unfortunately, unless science grows and develops very fast,
I won't see all of it.
you won't see all of it, right?
Right,
But they will see this video.
right.
So what would you like to say to, you know, the future of your family that you love so much?
What I would tell them, I knew your father when your father didn't know me. But he was a good little guy. I love the little guy. And he has raised you to the best of his ability and has given you the opportunity to be a decent man or woman in this world. All I can suggest to you is, whatever you choose to do within the law, you do it to the best of your ability and reach the highest height in that area that you can reach. And also, praise the Lord, because the Lord is the one that is going to take care of you. Follow Him, follow the Bible, do right, don't do wrong, do right, treat people right, and everything will be okay. And if I'm not here, I'm saying thank you before it happens.
Thank you very much, Pop Pop.
All right.
Or Wilbert.
Baby.
Oh, you Wilbert too.
Yeah. But hey, that was my grandfather's name. Yeah, that was Dad's name. That was my grandfather.
So you're a third.
Yeah, I'm a third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nathan's the fourth. But you know, he was a pretty good old guy too, the grandfather, yeah. And he was a good guy. But he was from one of those Indian reservations down there in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Which one? Do you know?
I don't know. Do you remember him?
No, I don't. And some research needs to be done too, because his grandfather was from the reservation.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But, well, I'll ask cousin Jean.
Yeah, find out.
Yeah. In fact, she's doing a
Ancestry.
background ancestry thing. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Jean.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for watching. Whoever's watching, thank you for giving me your time, Mr. Wilbert. And Grandfather Wilbert. And the next video we got is gonna be you and your beautiful wife together.
Okay. So
How's that sound?
I can handle it.
All right.
All right.
That was